The Wall Street Journal editorial this morning, Trump plans to give your 401k a boost. Markets are at all-time highs. 401ks, manufacturing jobs are going to be flooding into this country. But he says that it's about the billionaires.
It's all positive news, right? The fact that Trump is going to give 401ks a boost. I think, look, we have to put guardrails around that, but I do think it's a positive idea so that everyday Americans in their 401ks can participate in wealth-building strategies beyond just stocks.
Yeah, but what do you make of this assertion that Harris was led by elites and that really the Democrats have become the party of the elites? Not the working class. That's what November 2024 showed me.
Right.
But.
Well, what Bernie Sanders is saying there in that piece about Kamala Harris is that the Democrats are not only the party out of power, they're out of ideas.
Right.
They're not searching for something that says we can unite everybody. However, Donald Trump won in part because people are not invested in the infrastructure of government. They don't believe necessarily in government. He's trying to bring it back. But Sanders saying, the whole thing about affordability, whether it's the Democrats or Republicans, we have to pay attention to that. I'm just from a national perspective. We have to at least acknowledge that there are a lot of folks who need to be encouraged to come up, to get the jobs, that we can't forget that part of the narrative. Yes, we're having tremendous success, but we can't let that block out the group of folks that basically powered Trump to power.
No, I agree. But I think all these efforts that Trump is making is actually reaching out to that part of America to bring them forward.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I also, I mentioned this earlier, but I bring this back again. Former Senator Scott Brown, who lost to Elizabeth Warren, this was back in 2012, has a great op-ed about, and his advice to his party, the Republican Party, is that it's not just Democrats, socialists, Mamdani, this is back to Zohran Mamdani, plans should worry Republicans nationwide, but he said these candidates need to do more than just sit back and watch the Democrats implode. That's his overall piece here. We must loudly and clearly explain to voters what socialism means, because we are seeing the Democratic Party go progressive and go socialist. That's where the party is definitely turning, because that's the younger generation of it.
It's got to be that two sides of the argument. One is, if you adopt socialism, this is going to be the impact in your lives, and you're just not going to go for it at all. On the same side, this is what we continue to do for you. The Newt Gingrich is going to come on and talk about the fact that Republicans have to tout the big, beautiful budget. They need to do that. They just can't sit back and say, we've done our work, we're going to go home. They need to constantly market that.
Right, but I think what Mamdani has done is that he's convinced this younger generation that this generation has completely screwed it up, and that they're completely lost, and he is the path forward. I think that's a dangerous precedent.
It's a very dangerous precedent.
It's a very dangerous precedent.
That's the frightening part about what we were saying, and it's not just what we're saying in New York, but in Chicago and other cities, but it's because this younger generation that has I mean, you were talking about 24, 25, young people that are now entering the electric, and they're being promised something that is a fake narrative.
Right.
And I like Scott Brown's point that that's why the Republicans need to pay attention to this, because you could see the electorate. Look, I mean, people age out. Voters change, pass away. I mean, this is, so when it comes to but this could impact, obviously, that older generation.
And tremendous pressure.
Social Security or Medicare.
We have to just remember, there's been tremendous pressure from that age demographic, 18 to 30. COVID and all the other issues have happened. Now AI coming in is going to take their jobs. These are tremendous amounts of stress on this group. Affordability, housing. These are all the issues that the Republicans, not just that you have to do what Bill Clinton used to do with the Republicans. Take the issues that matter to Democrats and embrace them as your own.
But here's where here's where President Trump stood on a stage in Las Vegas, then candidate Trump, and said, no tax on tips.
Right.
And they went bonkers. And the voters flooded to him because of this. No tax on overtime. These are actual proposals that are meaningful, that affect everyday lives. 2017 tax cuts were extended. Taxes would have gone through the roof if that big, beautiful bill had not been passed.
Right. And so I think he's doing all the right things. We need to make sure that this generation, the one we're talking about that he's reached out to, clearly understands that decision they make today will impact them for years to come.
And that's the messaging, and that is the work that the Republican Party needs to do, getting that messaging out. Michael, final thoughts?
We've never been really good at that, you know, from the Republican Party side. I ran as a Republican for almost 2 decades. And we don't really go there. We go to the traditional, yes, this is our constituencies, this is what matters here. We have to have a more global perspective to understand the changes that are happening in this nation today and going forward, because it is a time of tremendous change. We need to acknowledge that and provide protections to people of all stripes.
Yeah. Right, but you need to meet these kids, these voters, where they are. The way Mamdani has, we need to be out there on TikTok or on Instagram, wherever it is. You need to reach them.
And talking about, and what he did, and Lee Carter said this on the show a couple of weeks ago, successfully talk about affordability and you know, the bottom line and the struggles that this generation is having, and they are having those struggles. Yeah.